They said hush your mouth, keep your head down low, drink your pain, pay your tax, do what you're told. But I was raised where the rainy streets teach you to stand on your own 2 feet. Yeah, from a small town pub to the city lights, I've seen deals in smoke-filled nights. Blue suits talking like they own this land, but they never had mud on their hands. They write the rules from a golden chair while we graft all day just to breathe their air. But there's a fire in this old isle, and I won't let them steal what's mine. I don't bend for the lies they sell. I won't dance to the Westminster Bell. I'll sing truth for this tired old nation. No filter, no hesitation. Raise your voice, feel that liberation. This is the unfiltered nation. Yeah, this is the unfiltered nation. Yeah. We got farms, docks, mills still standing strong. Real folk here who been right all along. They call us crazy when we say no more, but we carry this country shore to shore. So here's to the ones who won't back down, steel in their spine and are beaten downtown. If your heart still beats for this old home soil, then you're my people in this loyal coil. No more masks, no more stage duration, no more bought and paid for stations. If you're done with scripted conversation, step into the unfiltered nation. Take a seat, switch on, feel the elevation. Real talk, real grit, no fabrication. You crossed the line, there's no more waiting. Welcome to the unfiltered nation.
See, what's going to happen now is the left and all the mainstream medias, they are going to incorrectly call this hate speech. So they want to play that game with me. Okay, good. I'm going to play it because yes, I hate evil. I hate paedophiles. I hate cowards who trade girls for votes. I hate lies disguised as tolerance. I hate the wolves in the
They said hush your mouth, keep your head down low, drink your pain, pay your tax, do what you're told. But I was raised where the rainy streets teach you to stand on your own 2 feet. Yeah, from a small town pub to the city lights, I've seen deals in smoke-filled nights. Blue suits talking like they own this land, but they never had mud on their hands. They write the rules from a golden chair while we graft all day just to breathe their air. But there's a fire in this old isle, and I won't let them steal what's mine. I don't bend for the lies they sell. I won't dance to the Westminster Bell. I'll sing truth for this tired old nation. No filter, no hesitation. Raise your voice, feel that liberation. This is the unfiltered nation. Yeah, this is the unfiltered nation. Yeah. We got farms, docks, mills still standing strong. Real folk here who been right all along. They call us crazy when we say no more, but we carry this country shore to shore. So here's to the ones who won't back down, steel in their spine and are beaten downtown. If your heart still beats for this old home soil, then you're my people in this loyal coil. No more masks, no more stage duration, no more bought and paid for stations. If you're done with scripted conversation, step into the unfiltered nation. Take a seat, switch on, feel the elevation. Real talk, real grit, no fabrication. You crossed the line, there's no more waiting. Welcome to the unfiltered nation.
See what's going to happen now is the left and all the mainstream medias, they are going to incorrectly call this hate speech. So they want to play that game with me. Okay, good. I'm going to play it because yes, I hate evil. I hate paedophiles. I hate cowards who trade girls for votes. I hate lies disguised as tolerance. I hate the wolves in the suits, and I hate the silence in power. And if you don't hate this too, you're part of the problem. So this will be a righteous hate. It's what built empires, and it's what defends the innocents. And to those over there watching in Parliament in Westminster, let me remind you this. You knew, and you let it happen anyway. And now the people know too.
Yes, people. Finally, we're here. We got this. And it's a lot more stressful doing this new system. But we're here anyway. I hope everyone is good. What's the chat saying? Everybody look at South Africa. Evening, Patriots. Evening, band again. And everyone else in the chat. I hope you're all doing well and you've had a good day. So this one is, we're going to go through the reform policing policy that they put out today. Let me just have a look at this quickly. That they put out today. This banner, this one here, it should go automatically anyway. So we're going to go through that. But I got a new system. We created a new system, and it should be all right because you can get involved too. Everyone can have their opinion, and it's not just about saying this is what the thing is. And a lot of people already, they're saying this is the best thing since sliced bread, and Henry Bolton is the person to do this. And he's a great guy. You know, I do like him a lot, ex-UKIP. He's done a lot in the patriotic sides. But we've got to go through this as a policy document as it is. And yeah, let me just make sure. Hopefully all the annotations and all of the bookmarks are in place. So we'll just go straight into it anyway. And I've got the chat there. I think I'm ready to go. I think this will be it. So this is the new thing that we'll go through. And let me just introduce it a little bit for the people. Because this here over here is average score. So every time we go through every little bit, okay, we will be scoring it. We can score it here. And we'll download it and it will set what the decision was. And the reason for it is we can, going up to an election, when they say, oh, this is this policy, that's that policy, it's not just Restore Britain. It's going to be every single political party who is bringing out these massive statements. We're going to have them all. So we can go and say, you know what, let's just fact check it. I remember we went through the policing policy. Let's just see what it was. And we'll have it here already. And we can go over it and we can see if it was a low score or a good score and what the final verdict was. And the way we go through it is every little section that they put in their policies, we will be going through, and we can either keep it, we can either amend it, or we can reject it. And I think coming up to an election cycle when everything is mad and nobody can really keep control of the situation. I think this will be a great way of just being able to say, listen, this is what we thought about it at the time. Let's just go through it again. And I think it will be good. Evening, Rustic. I hope you're well. Thank you for coming and joining. Right, so let's just get straight into it because it's this one here. Nope. Wait there. Let me just do this because this, you don't want to see the PDF bit. You don't want to see that bit. Let me just, I'm always doing this. I have a good thing and I think, yes, this is the way to go. Let me just remove that a little bit. Let me move that up there. Is that moving? Yeah. Let me just drop this. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. We'll just have to leave it as it is. We'll leave it like this because that affects the other thing. And do you know what as well? I don't know why I do these mad things. I should have just kept it as it was, done a normal stream, and then I could have seen whether or not it was working or not. But no, it is what it is. We're going to go through it. Just need to get one more bit up. That there. This there. Right. So let's get to number one. Oh, it's all not going right, is it? It's all not going right. Oh, yes. Yes. So it's not working. Just move it up a bit, Dan. Just move it up. I can't really do that because I've got so. Do you know what? I've got so many things. This is terrible. No, it's good. It's actually good. I just got to sort it out. Right. I can't actually move it up a bit. I can't do anything like that. Nope. Oh, for God's sake. Right. Use to go down there. Right, we're there. This is what it's got to be. I think it's going to go, when we go, it's going to move up anyway. So it's absolutely perfect. So let's get straight into this with that little hiccup bit there. That little bit there. And this one here. Right, so let us go to the very first page. It's very difficult as well. I put all these like little annotations, what I need to read, where I need to be, what sections to what section. So I've done a bit of work. So if you want to do support the stream, if you look to the pin comment, you can support the stream there. And as always, I hope it will have its own little, I don't know, animations or whatever you want to call it. So we'll go to the author's foreword. This is going to be from Henry Bolton. So we start it off with, he says that the difficulties in policing in England and Wales are now structural. And that's very true. They are statutory, institutional, cultural, and operational. They reach into the way the police officers are recruited and trained and how they perceive the role, the way that they understand and exercise their powers, the way that national bodies influence policing, the way that performance is measured, the way that peace and order are maintained, the outsourcing of core functions, and essentially the way that political and ideological language and influences have entered the system. So from the start, they're not actually blaming, let me see if I can move this around a little bit. They're not actually blaming money or police numbers. They're saying that the system itself is broken. And he goes on and says, most importantly of all, these things have seriously eroded public trust, confidence, and consent. And that's right. We say this all the time. That is the heart of this diagnosis. It is the loss of trust. It is a loss of confidence, and it's a loss of consent for us, the people. We don't want to consent to the police to do their stuff. They do need to be, I don't know, he needs a full clean out, to be fair. It's not even a bit of a reform or a bit of a revamping. It needs to be taken out and started again based upon the Pelian principles, which Henry Bolton goes through. And I've seen online a few people They're like, oh, it's boomerism, it's this, it's going on to the Pelian principles. But I don't think people understand the importance of the Pelian principles, because if we had known them now, we could say to the police en masse, listen, this is really against what it was set up for. This is against what Sir Robert Peel, who's 2 times Prime Minister, 2 times Home Secretary, he was a historical figure of the state, and he set up the Metropolitan Police with these clear objectives. So it is important. And then we go to this one here. Of many people now believe justifiably that the policing is applied differently in different circumstances. We know that 2-tier policing. They believe that race, religion, politics, identity, local pressure, activist pressure, fear of accusations can do influence operational judgment. We know that from the Palestinian protests, from the United Kingdom protests. That belief and the associated erosion of trust and confidence are leading to public consent being gradually withdrawn. And again, that is one of the most important bits of the whole thing. You know, it's controversial to many people who still don't see that there is a 2-tier system. It's very controversial. No, it's not. We're all police but the same, and we're not. But this is showing exactly the issues so far. It's good so far. You know, policing is perceived differently depending on your race, your religion, your politics, or even political pressure. It's true. We can't go against that. And the next bit I want to go through too, and it's really difficult. This thing is, because you know when you get your PDFs and they all come down, you've got page numbers and you've got page numbers here. This one wasn't designed for streaming because, in a lot of the time, the numbers do not add up. So you might see me coming backwards and forwards and all sorts of stuff. But it is what it is. So this is a bit on this bit that I wanted to go through, which was the plan, he says, begins from one principle. There must be one law, one standard, one policing duty, and one enforcement threshold for every person in the country, all delivered without fear, favour, prejudice, or animosity. I think that's important because this connects the diagnosis to the cure. The cure is that if we're going to have a working police force that we can support at the same time, because you have to think about it. I see it all the time. Well, not so much around here, but in the estates. The old Bill, they're walking about like headless chickens. They don't know what they're doing. They're trying to find something. They're trying to, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Now if someone's running past you, right, ducks into the thing, you're just going to let it go and say whatever. But if we go back to that high trust society where the police are working in our favour, they're there to do the job, and we appreciate the job that they're doing because we know that they're there to protect us. We'd be like, hang on a minute, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? The old Bill's there. Is this the guy? Yeah, that's the guy. You help each other. That's the way that the policing was set up all those millions of years tonight. So Restore Britain is not saying that the police need more officers or more money. The report says the problem is a lot deeper. It's structured, it's law, it's culture, it's training, it's politics, it's public trust, it's visibility, it's investigations, it's intelligence, frontline confidence, all of the above. So it is a good policy from the start. The foreword is very, very good, because it starts with trust. And if the public believe that the law is enforced differently, depending on politics, religion, ethnicity, and all of that above, what protest movement you're for, we know that it is going to collapse and it will keep collapsing. So it's good that he's pointing this out. Weak bits of this whole report, I feel that sometimes it moves from perception to conclusion very, very quickly, and perception matters because we need the hard evidence. Perception's there, cool. Show me the evidence, and then we can get to the conclusion. And it also allows for it also needs to allow for other causes in the whole system, like court delays, CPS decisions, officer retention. We've got digital crime, mental health demand, where the police are going out to mental health cases when really should they be doing that? Disclosure rules and local budget pressure, because again, it's all done at a local level. If the council's not doing it right, or it's rubbish, or it's overspent somewhere and he wants to take it out of the police, they will do that. And we need to make sure that all of these things are together. So the first question for tonight that I'll pose to everybody is policing broken, or is it just under pressure? Let's go to this one, because for the for the intro of it, I think that this report should be a high 9. We're starting with a high 9. We're going to keep it as well. I think this report so far, it's needed. All right. And I'm not sure about, and here as well, we've got evidence. I'm not sure about the evidence that's there. So we'll go for moderate. We'll just go in the middle. So far, there's moderate amounts of evidence that this is going to work. Let me just see one thing here when I'm putting this up. Just want to make sure that Rustic, welcome everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, it comes up at the right place. Evening, Maria Mintz. Just moved it up a bit. I've gone through that. Dan needs a 15-year-old to work out how to use the computer. Do you know what, band again? Do you know what it is? I started off so well. I'm like, this is how we're going to do it. And then I always add to it. And the more I add to it, the more pieces I put into it. And now I've started off today having two monitors. And now I'm like, right, I've got to go and buy another one, just to keep all these bits and pieces on the screen at the same time, so I can just quickly look instead of doing what I'm doing at the moment. 1970, 70% of police recruitment was ex-forces. Today it's only 4%. That is exactly what we need to be looking into. Why are the ex-forces not doing policing? Because they've got the protection of the people. They've got working to orders. They've got working to uniform standards. Yes, certain soldiers can never. Some of the soldiers I know, the ex-soldiers I know, are absolute crazy, right? They're lunatics. But that is because they've been put in this lunatic situation where it's not normal. They were there when they're 18. They've done, 20, 25 years in a high pressure environment, plenty of tours in Afghan, plenty of tours in Iraq, plenty of tours wherever they're going. It's not a normal life. And they can't really, they can integrate with society, but it's very difficult to not have that instinct, because that was what was bred into them. So some of them can't do it, but a lot of them, they can. It should be a way to come out of the army into Civvy Street. What you should do really is you could do 2 years in the police service, where we can monitor you. We can give you all sorts of PTSD help. We can help doing all sorts of things. We can give you the house. You've got money for the house. You'll be in the area. It's perfect, but we're not doing it. So why? Why are people going into college doing a policing degree and then coming out again, not even understanding how to do policing? You look at any of the old police officers and they all say 70% of policing is watching your eye, using your eyes and using your mind. If it doesn't look right in that area, it's probably good to pull it. The new style of policing, it's got all of these techniques and, all this science behind it and all sorts of stuff. That is another reason why there is a very low crime detection rate. I believe anyway, the whole of the establishment needs stripping back to the core and restarting. It does. Society needs reforming. Can't go wrong with that. Yes, UTK, full restoration. I think it is. Maria Mintz is saying, I was never scared of the police back in the day, but I am now for all the wrong reasons. And again, that's an important thing. That's the trust in society, how the police can work. They can't work in that environment because we don't trust them. We just do not trust them. Good evening. I grew up in Tower Hamlets. The only thing we were worried about is if the old bill would fit you up. Yeah. I remember it all the time. Watford was the worst for it. It was the worst for it. They had ways of dealing with you, right? And their ways of dealing with the blacks was to send them to South Oxy until Chalk Farm coming. But a lot of my time, if the old Bill wanted to do a little statement, they would say to you, "How you doing, son? You all right?" Jump in the back of the car. They'll drive you right to the middle of South Oxy, kick you out, make your own way back now. It's not exactly the point of it was a long way away or anything. You could walk it, right? It's the fact of the centre of South Oxley was very, very racist, right? So yeah, we had a bit of respect because we knew what they would do. And now you can't do that. So it's difficult because were they good tactics? Were they morally correct? No, they weren't. But you understood what they can do. You understand, you know what, let's just keep it civil between them. It's like Cape Verde now, Dan. What's in Cape Verde? What is it? Is it bad over there? I know Cape Verde from the World Cup. Are they still in it, or what's going on with that? What happened today with the Congo? Did the Congo beat England? It's all bread and circuses to me. So, yeah, I'll have to have a look at it. It's become undone via the woke DEI ball institute into the younger recruits in college. It can be undone, in my opinion. It can very, very easily. Very easy. I'm with you on that. None of them know where they are. That's exactly right. So this one here, the first bit, we're gonna go strong. We're gonna start strong on this one. Well, I'm gonna start strong anyway. And I'm going to say that I'm going to say, yeah, that's what it is. I definitely need, I definitely need a third screen. Right, so let's go to the next one. Next bit of the policy. Now, I'm only going to be reading out short amounts of it, little short sections. I urge everyone to go through and read the whole thing. Now, it's 140 pages. It's very, very long. And a lot of it, to be honest, this is a critical bit of it. A lot of it's gumph. A lot of it is just filler. A lot of it, I feel, is just words because we need to make a 140 page document. It's not made for streaming, as you can see here. This bit here is in the middle of that page when really, ideally, we would want that bit to start on page 9. Doesn't matter if you leave a big amount of gaps or you don't fill the page. It doesn't really matter. To me, it doesn't matter. This made it very, very hard for me to do the annotations and everything else. Very, very hard. So anyway, the next section, this is phase 1, and it's all on the 2002 Police Reform Act and its subsequent flawed fixes. So he goes on to say, the Police Reform Act of 2002 was the turning point. It disrupted a constitutionally balanced approach to independence. Before 2002, British policing relied on the unique status of the Office of Constable. Police officers were not employees of the state or political party. They were an independent officer of the Crown, personally accountable for the use of their powers and discretion to the law alone. Nobody and nothing else. The 2002 Act broke this model by introducing external influences. And that's important if you look at that, okay? Because this is the core thesis of it. This is what they are going to be testing, to the people. And is it just one single act of a government that can actually destabilize the whole country? And if it is one singular act of the government that destabilized the whole of the police force to allow everything that's happening now to flood into it, it doesn't happen overnight, granted. Granted, people could stop it at any type or any part of the plan, but it wasn't. If this is what happens in this country, then we are a highly unstable country, even when we feel that we're in high periods of stability. because one single act can wreck it, absolutely wreck what we're doing. That's that bit there. Let me go to this bit because it all covers the same bits and pieces. I've done this wrong. 2, 4, 2, 3. Oh, here 2, 2. Again, see here. You see here. Just wrong. Anyway, the Police Reform Act 2022, then 2002, sorry, then marked a decisive statutory step, not in addressing the drift, but in institutionalizing and accelerating it and moving policing away from constabulary independence, police owned capability, and operational clarity. It is at this point which policing become managerial and partnership driven rather than centered on the independent office of the constable. This links the acts to the what we're seeing now of the managerial state, and it is very managed. We look at the head of the Metropolitan Police, or we look at the people, the other chief inspectors up and down the country when they've got to do a press release. They will be briefed by all of these people first. They will be media trained when they get into that job. It is a very managerial. This is what you have to do. This is your requirements. This is your this is your powers basically. Rather than saying you're the chief inspector, you're the chief inspector constable, you do what you see fit. And that's the difference with policing, because if you can't police on the fly, when you see the people standing, you see TSG standing there, right? And then you got one behind them, patting them in the head, counting them. Yeah, everyone's here. Now you coming back. It's all very regimented. They don't know why they're doing it. They're just being told to do something and they're doing it. And if you go back to the old school, they wouldn't have been doing it in that way. They'd be like, right, hang on a minute. These people are actually fine. It's the people over the corner, or we know Antifa's coming around this way. So maybe we need a few people up there to prevent them getting to this point. But they don't do it. They just follow what is happening. So the act altered the legal and institutional architecture of policing, and it expanded central supervision, introduced new national planning mechanisms, created new complaint structures, and enabled wider access of police powers by persons who are not constables, formalised in these community police support officers, supported accreditation schemes, changed and this is another thing about it, just put it in plain English, changed the attestation of constables and opened the door to non-British citizens policing British citizens in Britain. There's the maddest point of it. Because this paragraph is the bridge from a political claim to a legal claim, right? Because now they're formalizing things. Now the PCSOs, now they come into place because there's not enough police officers, we're told. But where was the special police officers? Because they were the ones that were supposed to be. And then they say, well, the PCSOs, you don't really have all the powers. You've got powers to look. You've got powers to follow. You don't have powers to arrest. You can detain to a degree, but really you're a citizen. Special constables, I believe, have got more powers. So why didn't they do it that way? Why are they doing these, accreditation schemes? Why are they doing these things to mold you into what they want you to be? Which is strange, really. And this was all done from the 2002 reforms. This thing here is important because when you're swearing an oath, it doesn't matter if you're swearing it on the Bible or you're swearing it on the Quran or anything like that. It doesn't matter to me, right? If you're doing these jobs, I would say in a Christian country, you are going to be doing it on the Bible. And if you can't do it on the Bible, then you shouldn't be doing it at all. That's my official position. But it doesn't matter. It's very hypocritical It's very like it's very I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but it doesn't matter. The book doesn't matter, but it does matter. But it doesn't matter. But you know what I mean. It's the words. It's the oath that you are speaking. It's the promise that you are saying. That is the important thing. You're saying on the Bible because you should be God fearing if you're picking up the Bible. It should mean something. You shouldn't pick up the Bible and be able to lie, takia, and all of this stuff. So the pre-act oath, it was this: I solemnly and sincerely declare and affirm that I will well and truly serve our sovereign lady, the Queen, in the office of constable without favour or affection, malice or ill will, and I will, to the best of my power, cause the peace to be kept and preserved, and prevent all offences against the person and properties of Her Majesty's subjects. And while I'll continue to hold the said office, I will do to the best of my skill and knowledge discharge all the duties thereof faithfully and according to law. Right? This was the old oath. The new oath is this: I, name of town, do solemnly and sincerely declare and affirm that I will well and truly serve the Queen of the office of constable. You can see why it's going this way: with fairness, integrity, diligence, and impartiality. Well, they're lying on that one already. We know a lot of these are not doing that. So it's important to understand it. Upholding fundamental human rights and according equal respect to all people, and that I will, to the best of my power, cause the peace to be kept, preserved, and all offences against people and property. And while I continue to hold that said office, I will, to the best of my skill and knowledge, discharge all duties that faithfully are here according to law. Now, that's the new one. With that change, the 2022, I'm going to have to bring this up a little bit. I see what you mean now about bringing it up a bit. With the change in 2002 Act, that's fine. Oh, that's not fine now. Well, why do I do this to myself? Why do I do this to myself? My notes are all over the place. Right. With the change of the 2002 Act, embedded new conceptual emphasis on human rights protection as an express element of the constable's attestation. That change shifted the language of policing away from the older constabulary tradition of preserving the peace, preserving offences, and acting without favour or affection, malice or ill will, towards a broader rights protected vocabulary. And towards a broader rights protection vocabulary. Police officers must act lawfully and proportionately and impartially. These duties arise from law and the disciplined exercise of the office of constable. Policing is not human rights advocacy or values delivery function. So, yeah, that's the two oaths. It's incredible, to be fair, that we got there. When I read it, I could feel. Let me just put it like this. So I'm just changing things around because then I can just do this. Yeah, it's much better. So when I was reading it, I could feel that it was just differently read. You just felt a bit different, you know. I don't want the police to uphold human rights. I don't really want the police to uphold all of these things, you know, these integrities and things like that. You know, I don't want to do that. What I want them to do is I want them to police without fear or favour. I want them to police equally. I want them to police the people as they should. And if they do that, then they won't need to bring in the human rights. They won't need to bring in the integrity. They won't need to bring in this DEI-driven stuff. You know, so again, what I've got to say to you, was that the turning point, 2002? From now, what you kind of understand, do you think, yeah, actually, that might be the turning point? Because the Act of 2002 did make real structural changes, especially around this national direction, guidance and complaints and police powers. The weakest point in the whole section is I think that calling it the turning point is too neat. It's too quick, because the drift also involves the Human Rights Act of 1998, the Crime and Disorder Act of 1988, the Race Relations Amendments Act of 2000s, the Equality Act of 2010, the PCC reforms, and the College of Policing guidance. So all of that together over many, many years, okay, over, 2010, the Equality Act, it was the start, okay? It wasn't the complete turning point. I wouldn't say that is now the turning point. That was the start to allow it to happen. That's a better way of saying it. It was the start to allow that to happen. Banding 2-1 England. All right, cool. That's good. That's good. Band again, won't be reading it. Anyone else getting ads? Do you know what? Do you know what it is? YouTube's just gone wild on the ads. Literally, they're adding every single thing. And imagine this now. What is it? What is it? The link that I put up the top, right? It's a PayPal link for any donos or anything like that. If you want to support the stream, you want to do anything, you got to do it through the PayPal one, the one I put up there. Because if you do the super chat, they monetize me, then they kind of semi demonetize, and they're like, well, we have to look into this, we have to do X, Y, and Z just to extend it to another month or whatever, or I get paid like halfway through the month. So they're happy, YouTube, to monetize themselves over these channels, and it's all across the board. I did think it was just me that they're fucking about with, but it's everyone. It's this new algorithm that they're doing. They want to push the whole lot through. It's crazy. And they demonetize you as well per stream. So once I'm on stream now, I'll do it later on, see if I'm demonetized on it, because they're using live AI subtitles or caption, what is it, CCs, whatever it's called, they're using it in live real time. So if I'm now talking and I talk about the guy who looks like the guy who died in prison because he was a human trafficker. Do you know what I mean? This is why people talk like this. If I talk about Epstein, if I talk about rape, if I talk about murder, if I talk about any of these things, to talk about COVID still, maybe pro-Russia, because they know that they say that I am a pro, what was it? A pro-Russian. It wasn't a propaganda piece, but it was kind of like I'm supporting Russia in the whole stuff, any of that stuff. So now it's picking up all these things. Israel's another one. They'll start demonetizing you. It goes off to the thinking department, and they will decide whether or not you can go on. But they'll still monetize off you. So yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. Absolutely nothing. And they want you basically to take their premium out. That's what they want you to do. Premium, there's no ads. You just go through it. You do what you're doing, and that's all they want you to do. Punks, I had high hopes for Restore until. Why is it not gone on to X? I'm gonna have to. Can someone do me a favor? Oh, no, I'll do it myself. I'll share it myself halfway through. I had high hopes for Restore until Rupert's chat with that liberal Brett Reinstein. Oh, there's lots of it, to be honest. It's not just that one. There's lots of things that I think Rupert can. I think he can do it, yeah. But I think the team behind him is absolute. I think it's a psyops, to be fair. I'm not going to lie about it. Blair made the police a political joke force. And he made a lot of stuff happen, didn't he? He is the architect of a lot of stuff. And that's why it's a little bit scary now that Burnham's kind of, he's now they're saying he's going to be the next Tony Blair. And we don't really want a next Tony Blair, because the first Tony Blair absolutely decimated the whole country. So I'm not sure. Did you watch the whole conversation? Oh yeah, did you watch the whole of the Weinstein? It was a good interview. Okay, what he said, I haven't got a problem. Oh, clearly, I haven't got a problem with it. What he said, The problem I have is the team and him. They're not in sync. So when his team are putting out all this stuff for people like punks to be like, yeah, I love this. This is what I like to do, and this is what I like to support. I'm supporting Rupert Lowe. Then when you hear him talking, he talks totally different. It's unsynchronized. All in chat. Where would you place yourselves politically? That's a good one. Where would you all place yourselves? Everyone in the chat, where would you place yourselves politically? On the whole oath thing, Charles has sold himself right out. Yeah. Yesterday, I had Irish cops recruiting in migrant centres. Do you know what? When we went to Ireland, I was talking to Shillits today about it, about all the stuff that we've done, all the Dover stuff, all the Ireland stuff, we did it years ago, and it's all coming about now. So maybe, I think I'm going to revisit a lot of these things. When we was in Ireland, we saw all these Africans up these stairs, right? In between two shops, going up the stairs. And what's going on here? I walked all the way up there, right? What's going on? Not a word of English. All of them to the top. It was a SIA. It was an SIA training course. So I walked in there, and they're like, how can I help you? So I go, oh, what's this? Oh, it's a training course. I want to get onto it. I'm at the right place. You can't get onto it. Why can't you get onto it? Because this is to help migrants obtain jobs in Ireland. I was like, you mental. You want these people to be security? And that's when I knew what was going on. Because at that point, I was like, do you know what? This is terrible. Maria Mintz is politically homeless. Based again, banned again. Everyone should now. Section 26, Police Misuse of Powers Act is a criminal offence for a cop to mislead the public as to their rights or cops' powers. We can look into that. Definitely can look into that. I am going to start that. Oh shit! What have I done? Oh, what have I done? Oh, maybe I shouldn't have started that. I'll start it anyway. All my chats are gone. We pay for internet, so why have we got the ads? It's exactly look. My iPhone 17 Pro Max. I paid £1,600 cash for it. I don't know what it was. 1,300, over £1,000. It was just too much money for a phone, right? Because I wanted a phone that I wasn't connected to nothing. If I wanted to do whatever I want on it, I don't have to abide by anyone's rules. That's essentially what it is. And I still have to put an identification on there to go onto my Bet365 app. It's crazy. And that's what it is. We pay for internet. Why are we getting the ads? We pay for a lot of things. Why are we getting that? Why is YouTube allowed to do the ads and we're not allowed to get money off of them that they do? YouTube run their finances like HMRC, from what people are saying recently. If you watch a whole advert, it's better for. If you watch a whole advert, it's better for the channel. You listen. Yeah, it probably is. It probably is better for me if everyone watches the adverts. But as soon as you can get that skip button, and let's just get straight back into it. Do you know what I mean? Don't give them the full. We want me to get the maximum money, but we don't want YouTube to get the maximum money because they're using shit cunt tactics. Rustic, I'm an I'm an anarchist. This is far right, no rulers. This is far right, no rulers, no subordinates. Booker Samuel speaks God's idea of the political system for his world, and it is anarchism. Does it say that? Does it say that? The Book of Samuel? I'm trying to do it. Yes, Mark's e-biking. Last time I spoke to you, you was dead busy with all the health and safety stuff. So I hope you got through it. I hope they didn't do too much of it on you. Labour remarks is Nazis are Nazis and liberalism is fascism. All these are forms of socialism. Reform, restore, and the Republicans are all fascists. Good evening, Roy. How are you doing? There must be a hack so we can use the next door's Wi-Fi. Let's do it. Let's do it. You can actually use the next doors. You just knock on the door and you just say, "What's your Wi-Fi a bit?" And you say that. So I swear I'm catching up on yours. Honestly, I'm pretty sure. My password's this, right? Instagram, is that your one? And they'll go to their one and they'll, no, it's this one. You'll be like, right, cool, thank you. Right, now I'm going to be using your Wi-Fi. We don't care. But I don't. I've got my neighbours can use my Wi-Fi if they wanted to. You know, we've got too much. I've got too much internet. I've got 1 gigabyte internet, and I do not use hardly any of it. Oh, it's the speed, isn't it? But an unlimited. I don't fucking know. Right, let's get back to what we was doing. So this one here. So where are we? Why has that disappeared now? We was talking so much. I've literally. Oh, this one. I don't know why this keeps moving about. It's really stressing me out now. So let's go back to what we was doing. So this one, we've had a little thing about it. Yes, I reckon the overall effectiveness of this one is high. I think yes, it is very risky. So I don't think it'll be politically feasible. Financially, it doesn't matter. Legally, I don't think it will be legally feasible. And if they did get the office of constable back in and they reversed the 2002 rights that they've took away from the police, I reckon it would fix the problem. So we'll give them an 8. So far over 2 bits, we have a 6.2 overall score, and we have a strong keeping it. This is a good policy so far. But the evidence that they gave me for this section, I think it's weak, to be fair. It's told me what the problem is, but there's no evidence of how we solve it, what things need to be solved, what things were encapsulated. But it might be when we go through, because the next one we're looking at is the office of constable. So let me just get this one up. Let me go back to my notes. We are on section 3. So we are going to go back to this one. And this is another problem with it as well. It's all over the place. So when I read this, when I read this, here, yeah, it's just all over the place. So when I'm reading it, it's got at the beginning, it's got the office of constable. Then later on, it talks about the office of constable, and it just goes on and on and on. So this one here, he talks about the British policing was built around the office of constable. It is an independent holder of lawful authority sworn to serve the crown, the law, and the public, but it is independent. The powers of the constable were not meant to be delegated from or directed by any political authority. They belonged to the office and were exercised upon the discretion of the office holder. That independence carried immense responsibility and status. The exercise of the powers of constable required clear-headed judgment, immense integrity, and moral compass, I guess, as well as physical courage, restraint, and personal accountability. The principles associated with Sir Robert Peel gave that model its practical and moral foundation. They placed prevention, restraint, public confidence, public cooperation, impartial service to law, and the absence of crime and disorder at the centre of policing. They specifically protected the office of constable and the holders of that office from political and other self-serving interests, agenda, and influences. And that's what Sir Robert Peel, he said about. Okay, it's historical, it's constitutional, it's part of this country, it's part of our history. It's very, very important when Robert Peel saw actually if we have constables who used to be just everyday people, just like jurors, you got to take a week off work and then you can be a constable. But then we actually create a force and yeah, we create a force and it's going to protect the people. The people said we don't like this because they used to be called blue lobsters or red lobsters. Blue lobsters because of uniform, navy blue. And the reason they were called the blue lobsters is when they got hot, they got red in the face. You know what it's like in 1840, whatever it is, right? So that they knew that these people could get hot-headed and it could be an army of the government. That was the most important thing. And that's why they said no. The people are the police and the police are the people. They're two entwined. It's not going to be acted upon from the government. But what changed that was COVID. And I always say this. I remember the head of the Federation of Policing. He stood up and he said to Boris Johnson, he said, "You can change the laws as many times as you like. If they're not changed in the book, then we're not going to police them. We police what has gone through Parliament. We don't police anything else, right? That's the laws we police." And then they come out and he said, there's a big thing coming out, and they said, we'll protect you. Don't worry, you will not, you'll not face any of these criminality laws. Or we'll protect you. As soon as he said that word, the next day, people were getting beaten, or women were getting taken, 4 people picking them up, taking them out, people in the Lake District just walking with their dogs, 2 of them, no, you weren't socially distancing, we're going to give you a fine. They went into monster mode, tyrants, and it never stopped. That there is my timeline. Going right off target. But you look at that. You look at what Sir Robert Peel was doing, the Pelion Acts and all of that, the foundations, and then you look at how Parliament now acts. Probably now was that a turning point, the 2002 Reform Act. Maybe it was. And this is why I like doing this, because we can just go through it and I can get my mind changed. I'm not even everyone knows I'm not on Restore. But if I can look at things impartially, I can be like, okay, cool. Right. Where you gone? Cool. I think I can get onto this. So that was the office of constable. Now we're talking about the erosion of the office of constable. What is going on? Right, good, we're back. So the office of constable exists to protect policing from the political, ideological and sectarian interests that have now been permitted access to policing. The constable was an independent holder of lawful authority. See, it's gone over again. And then we're going to go to section 7, which is going to be the same. It's all connected. So it just basically goes through the same bit there. Let's do it because it's a better summary. I've written down it's a better summary. So the constable was an independent holder of lawful authority, sworn to serve the crown, the law, the public, to preserve the peace and protect life and property, to prevent and detect offences, and to act without fear or favour. The powers of the constable were vested in the individual office holder, not delegated by the state, a police authority, a local council, a mayor, a board, or a political structure. That independence mattered because the constable's duty was to the law and the public peace, but not the political direction or sectional pressure. There we go. That's what it was. That's what it was. And when I'm thinking about it now, it's totally gone. It totally has gone. The next bit of the office of constable that I want to address will be will be this one. Constables are not agents of the police force, any police or political authority or government. They are servants of the crown. Now, that is a very, very important line for anyone to understand. They're not agents of the state. They're not agents of hope, not hate. They're not agents of the thought police, the nudge unit, anyone else, any police, any political authority or government. So no NGOs can control the police. None of these federations of black policing, federation of, LTGD policing, none of them. They're servants of the crown. And if they don't like being servants of the crown, therefore servants of the people, then they shouldn't be in it. That's my opinion right there. So we can expand on that further, because each sworn constable is an independent legal official. They hold their own powers, and each constable has personal liability for the use of those powers, for their actions and their inaction. So they have the responsibility of what they do, and they're responsible for what they don't do either. And how many times have we seen a police officer just stand back? I don't think I want to get into this one. I don't think this is the situation that I want to get into, because it's a gang of blacks that have just done JD Sports. We don't want to get into that. Oh, who's that over there? Oh, that's Palestine Action. Oh, don't want to get into that. Well, what's that over there? That's a march that is celebrating terrorists, known terrorists, people who are prescribed, that they're Hizb Tahrir, all of these people, they're celebrating them. Don't want to get involved. No, they're responsible for that. They should be held responsible as well, but they're not. Political interference in policing has compromised the integrity of the office of constable, and that integrity will be restored with Restore Britain. Restoring British police will restore the common law foundation of policing by consent. The police will protect the rights through the impartial enforcement of the law, not through political, activist or identity-based interpretation of rights. That's important. Constables are independent holders of the lawful authority. They require judgment, discretion, courage, restraint, and impartiality. The outcome will be that officers who understand their independent authority and responsibilities, exercise lawful discretion, are individually responsible for their actions and inaction, intervene confidently and lawfully, and apply the law and their powers equitably without discrimination, fear or favour, prejudice or animosity, which was, if we remember, the oath is what the old original oath was. So here's a clear way of where Restore can restore back to where we were. Yeah. Is there any more on this one? So the report in this section is saying it's not simply an employee carrying out any type of political orders. It's a constable, and it is a constable is an independent legal office holder serving the crown, the law, the public. It's personally answerable as well to the law and the courts. I think too many police officers are hiding behind these NGOs like the IPOC, who investigate themselves, and then they won't say that really they did wrong, when if they had an outside authority like the office of constable, you could look at it and say, well, actually, you did it wrong, and actually I'm gonna arrest you and you're gonna go to jail for that. Or we've done it, you exercised your powers correctly. Sadly, the criminal died, but you did everything that we wanted you to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a medal. That wouldn't be done now. You're giving a medal. He killed Chris Kabar, and you're giving him a medal. Well, he exercised his powers to the best of his ability, and he went further and beyond. So yeah, we will do. That's where we really need to get back to. So the good points on this is it protects against political policing. It gives officers extreme clarity. Their duty is to the law, not to the politicians, not to councils, not to activists, not to pressure groups, not to NGOs, not to any of these people. But the weak point is the independence must not become immunity, right? Officers do need to be disciplined. They need to have lawful commands. They need to have professional standards. Body worn evidence can't go missing. The cameras have to be turned on at all times. Complaints and the complaints has to be outside source. Like I said, the IPOC, it can't be the police doing the police. There needs to be accountability, and that's what it doesn't show. It doesn't say anything like that. It grandioses what we can be, but it doesn't say actually what we actually do need now in 2026, because we do that. So should police officers answer to middle management, let's just say, or should it just be answerable to the law? I don't know. So on this one, again, I don't think they'll be able to do it because of the NGOs. This is the problem that we're going to have all the way through. Will it solve the stated problem that should the office of constable be restored as the legal foundation of policing? Would that solve the stated problem? I think it would. We'll give it a high 7 on that one. This is not important politically. I think you'd be fighting all day long with this. I think you'd be fighting all day long. But overall, I reckon it would, if it could be done, it would become very effective. Again, now average score. We've only gone through 3 bits now. We've got 16 bits here. And I don't think we're going to get through it all tonight because I do talk a lot and it's important though. What I would do is I'd keep it because it needs to be done, but we need to have some caveats on that. So I'd say it's weak on that one. So far, the first 3 bits, it's all been keeping. We're keeping it at the moment. It's a good policy. Again, from somebody who doesn't support, I'm not overly supportive of Restore. And don't worry, this isn't I'm going bring Danny back to Restore. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not. This is now independence. I'm not playing these team games anymore. You know, the worst thing about team games in activism is when people don't play those games and they wait for a little while and they say, oh, I'm going to do exactly what you said in the conversation we've had and I'm going to give it to somebody else. And that person there's going to do, I've had about 5 of them and I can expose the whole lot today. I can say, listen, here's the email that I sent to this person. This is what he's saying. But I'm not going to do it now because I want them to commit. I'm going to be that one. I want them to commit. And then I'm going to ask some questions about their policy, which I know they won't be able to answer. And then that is how you know that people are not really, really in it for thinking. They just want to be about. They just want to be about. So the Police Restoration Act is the next one. Let's go through these comments. Let's go through this. I can't go all the way up there. Hey, Dupes, I hope you're well. I can't go up to where you was, so I'm just going to say that is your one there. Hi, Dupes, I hope you're well. And also as well, you see all of these bits, like these bits here and this here and these bits here and all of these stuff. All of this is custom, right? All of this is custom to these streams. No one else is doing this. I'm on OBS. I'm not on any StreamYard or anything like that. The only thing I need to really nail it in. And the Kick people helped me. Who was it that's helped me the other day? When I just randomly come up on Kick because no one's really over there. Is the panels. I need to really draw that in. If I can draw that in, it's going to be great. Loads of support for. Oh, there we go. Big up, Danny. Keep doing you. Keep being me. I'm always me. You know what I'm like. I'm always going to be me. Off to bed now, but we rewind it and watch it from the start. She's popped in and she's gone again. But obviously, like Rustic said, thanks for popping by. It's always a pleasure. The 2019 PSYOP was a power grab, and it was just a step. Next is the ID system and the CDBC, which just makes us all slaves. 100%. That is what's coming in. They're gonna. I thought they was gonna do it by now with the petrol. I really did. I really think they were going to give you a government petrol card. It's too expensive, but we can guarantee you 130 a litre, which you just need to get one of these petrol cards. But we need your IDs and we need all your insurance details and everything else and your license. And what we'll do is for you, to make it easier for you, we're going to connect them all together and we'll give you a card. And if the police pull you over or whatever, you just give them the card and they'll just scan it. And then it'll come up with all your details, your insurance, who your insurance is with, to do it. It's going to make it so much easier. And you get a government friendly, tax reduced payment per litre. I thought they were going to do that, but they didn't. They missed the trick on that one. I remember Klaus Schwab remarks during COVID. He was confident that the police would cooperate with the EDF goals, and they did. Why was he so confident? Because he knew what was happening. He knew that he's in many places as well. If we look at the globalist grip, Australia, Canada, America, the Anglosphere, really, all of us are going through the same situations in the same times. Europe is rising up. Europe is becoming a nationalist stronghold. But the problem with that is Europe is in the EU, clearly, the European Union. The European Union are full of technocrats. They're full of dictators, authoritarian people, in my opinion. So they need to get into the European Commission, basically. They can't do any kind of Brexits. That's all gone. They've realised that it's never going to work and they're going to destroy a lot of their country. Because if you look at the UK, we've gone downhill very, very quickly since we did Brexit because no one knew how to do it properly. And I do charge Nigel Farage with that as well. That's one of the biggest things I can't stand about reform is Nigel Farage because he let us down over Brexit. Very, very strong before Brexit. Just did nothing when it happened. So they know they can't do that. So they're joining their own union. They're trying to make their own union and whatnot. So European people are all together. And I think they will just be all digitally ID'd. They're kind of used to it now. They're kind of going down that road now. But we do have these factions that are all going through the same things at the same time. So it is a globalist agenda. You'd be stupid if you'd say no. It's just coincidence. There's always been two-tier police, us and them, snobs and robbers. It's not really a new thing. Go back to the Bow Street Runners. It always has been, but there has always been us versus them, but we're on an equal level because the people are the police and the police are the people. At the moment, it's the police with the governments, with the NGOs, with the judiciary versus the people. That's not a fair fight anymore. It's not one that we can win. Look at the people now. People are throwing cans in the direction of the police. They're getting 2.5 years. The soldier, the veteran who got battered by the police, he got found not guilty. The police said they're going to withdraw. They can't find any more evidence. They're going to withdraw it. And the judge said, we will record it as a not guilty verdict. Now, in my opinion, that verdict should have been no contest. It should have been scrubbed from the history books. But now his criminal record will show that he got found not guilty for whatever it was, probably assaulting police officers or something like that. So if he was to do an enhanced DBS check, it would be there. If he was to get into trouble 10 years down the line, they would look back and say, oh, you've already done this, but you got found not guilty. It's not a fair fight anymore. I'm old enough. Roy's old enough to know that. Oh, not the electric board. WEF goals. What did you put on? I want to see every officer take up an insurance policy. But then they should do. But then that kind of gives them immunity, doesn't it? As long as I've got insurance, they can pay for it. They can pay it. It doesn't matter. If I lose my job because of what I've done, then the insurance will pay loss of wages. If I've got to pay out for what I've done, the insurance will pay it. There's no personal responsibility on it. But yeah, they should do it. I'm agreeing on both. A lot of things today, I'm saying yes and no at the same time, which I don't like. I'm not sure why. I'm conflicted somewhere. Why am I so conflicted? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, people are going to say now, people are going to clip that and they're going to say, we told you, Danny is getting paid for reform. We told you. Have you heard all of that stuff? I'm now a reform. I'm getting paid by reform. Now they're going to say, look what he's got. Look what Dan's got. He's got all of this new shit coming out and he's done. No. It's just been a hot week and I want to create something massive. That's all it is. If they're falsely accused, they covered up. However, they fuck up, they should pay up. I mean, that's a good principle, to be fair. We're left with a police force completely indoctrinated into Marxism. That's why we need it to be totally reformed, ripped out, start again. Roy, the police have a department that's paying out compensation to the public every day to avoid going to court. And that's another thing. The people, when you do that, when they're giving out a court settlement for like $2,500, you're like, yo, I'm taking it. No. Never take it. Always take them to court. If they're giving you an out of court settlement, that proves to you that you've got a good case. And the higher the money, the stronger the case is. And you'd probably 10x it if you actually went to court and you prosecuted them. Danny, I don't support Rupert Lowe fully, but I believe that he should be voted for as a strategy because he is the only one talking about deportations. Now I'm going to go on the other side to that. I would say that I'm highly critical of reform. I'm highly critical of restore. But and this is what I said on my X the other day. Let's see if I can get to it. Let me see if I can get to it. We're gonna do a number two. We're going to do a number two. So tomorrow in the daytime, I think I'm gonna carry on with the stream because I have waylaid myself. Unless you want to go a couple of hours, we can go a couple of hours. Fucking Keir Starmer. It might actually be coming home. How come he's the only one allowed to be having an England flag? We all get black flags. How come him? Oh no, he can have an England flag, can't he? Right. What was I talking? Oh yeah, we was talking about Rupert Lowe. That's that. I think someone don't. I don't want everyone to be. Oh, there's the other thing. There's Manson. We'll go through that documentary as well. It's a good documentary. It was so far ahead of time that nobody really got to it. Nobody really understood it. No. Rave scene. Oh, Rupert Lowe. And who heard that Rupert Lowe's talking at the Disraeli event? Yes, here we go. Here we go. Imagine that. I can't find what I want to find, but I find this one. July 11th, Disraeli conference featuring these speakers. Harrison Pitt, senior policy fellow at Restore Britain. Ben Habib, imagine that, back in Restore Britain. Bill Cash, John Rankin, Desmond Swain. I love Desmond Swain though. Lord Moylan, Lord Campsall, Caroline Anstall, Lord Johnson, Steve Baker. Steve Baker, he could have done so much. Dr. David Starkey. And this is and Mark Littlewood. Right? So this is Rupert Lowe. He's going to be speaking there. Because it's not Rupert Lowe. Sorry, it's not Rupert Lowe. It's his top people. I think he is though. But this is conservative. Do you know what I forgot? I forgot what the whole point in that bit was. Harrison Pitt. Yeah. Oh, I can't find it. I can't find it. But basically, what I was saying is, what would be best doing is this. Would be best going to reform, okay? And I can't even believe because I've been against them, but there's a huge caveat with it because you can use reform as your vehicle. There's no money that needs to be paid out. It's all on reform's bank accounts, and maybe we can pressure reform into doing what we want to do. And how do we do that? We go in there, we go in as members, and then we start dictating what we want. And we'll start, closer to the elections. If you don't do this, we will go to restore. Restore. That there should change it because all these people, because what's his name? Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage looks at Rupert Lowe as much as Rupert Lowe looks at Nigel Farage. So if you put pressure on him, he might do stuff. But the beautiful thing about it is after the election, everyone is just, defecting anyway. There's no by-elections. So you can literally tell them, if you don't do that, we will vote your people in. But if you don't do that, we will get them to defect to Restore Britain. And then Restore Britain will have a strong power in Parliament without doing any of the work. Is it morally right? No, but morals doesn't work in politics anymore, I'm afraid. And if reform is possibly the best people to win, then let's put that on the table because the globalists will be like, "Oh, actually, that could happen." We'll have to try and make sure that reform are not the people, and they might start backing the Conservatives again or something. We're not going to vote Conservatives, but it gives an alternative away from reform, which I know will fuck the whole place up. So we just need to put pressure on them. Go in there, put pressure on, see what can happen. They killed Brexit baby at birth to get into the EU, wreck it from within, and that's what many are aiming. And that's what the Europeans are doing. The same thing as what I basically said about reform. Yeah. They have to sell the BMW and the houses, the old bill. Yeah, let them sell everything, man. If they've done the wrong thing, let them sell whatever they've got. Not true, Craig. Reform said tons about slinging out the migrants. Yeah, they have. Right. Zia Yusuf has said about what he's going to do. He's going to phone up the Coast Guard guy, the top person of it, and say, this is what you've got to do. He's going to bring the military in and all these types of things. So they do say it. But do we believe it? That's the thing. You can say it, but do we believe it? It's like what we're doing now. We're talking about it, we're looking at it, but do we actually believe what these words are? That's why we have to go through it and see. And I don't believe reform too much, but I believe them more than restore. And that's the case of it. I'm heading off for the night. Thanks for live tonight, Danny. Thank you, Rustic71. See you later. Restore is talking about 75% white, which is too low. But where are you going to go from? There is never, ever, 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 clip this, put it everywhere. There is never, ever, ever going to jump from where the levels are at now straight up to a 90% plus white indigenous countries. No, it's not going to happen. The tide has turned too much. But what can happen is to reset the foundations, reset the project going forward. Let's not talk about 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. We've got to talk about when my daughter's 65, so that's 60 years ahead. Where does this country be when my daughter's 65? 3 generations. If you look at every single person, like the KGB, I can't remember the name, Bezmenov in the KGB, or any of the Chinese people from Mao all the way down to Zinni the Flu, all these people, they have a 3-generation outlook. That's what we need to do. A 3-generation outlook. Where do we need to be there? And if Reformer Restore, I can't remember now, Restore. If Restore is saying 75%, then they must be looking and saying, well, this is sensible and it's a good foundation to increase. You're not going to change it around there. Even if you kicked out all of the ethnics. So it was then 100% white. Yeah, it wouldn't stay that way for a long time because people would be needing to import people. You need to do the jobs that you don't want to do because this is the whole point about immigration. Sometimes it's not the high skill jobs, the jobs we can't do. Sometimes you might say, like what China did, right? They now import into Africa to do the jobs that they don't want to do all the factory work, to do all the putting bits in, all the mining stuff. They don't want to do that now. They can outsource it. That's what we need to be doing. Yeah, actually, we don't want to do these jobs. We don't want the British people to do it. Let's get our workers to do it. We'll import people, very low skilled jobs. You lot can do that. It will happen. And when that happens, someone's going to come about and someone's going to increase that and then increase it without anyone knowing. And then it will get back to levels because this is how it happens. Drip feeding. You don't see it. Then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, what happened here? How did that happen? I heard Connor is moving away from Rupert. Yeah, I think he's gone straight away. I could see it on the election night, to be fair. I could see what he was told didn't come into action. And he looked at it and he was like, no, I should have. And that I should have done what I needed to do. And that's what I've said today as well. When I talk about being a team player for the cause, for the boys, right? For the girls. I've been a team player. I've never. You've all seen me. I've never said, "Oh, you know what? Actually, let's do this." I've said, "Let's do 101 different things that I know we could have put on the table. We could have done it." Oh no, maybe not that. Maybe not that, Dan. Maybe not that. All right, cool. But you know my opinion, so you can run with it. Blah, blah, blah. That's it. I played that role. And then I'm thinking to myself, oh, was it the right one? Was it the right thing to do? Looking now, where are we at now? Is that the right thing I should have done? No, it wasn't. So we're not going to do that anymore. And that's what Connor's done. Connor's just looked at it and said, was that actually the right thing for me to do? I don't think it was. Reform is a leftist party. It's not a leftist party. I know that it's not a right-wing party, like a hard right party either. It's more... With Nigel, with UKIP and everything else, he's an old school, he's a classical libertarian, I would say. The person that, if I can get past him not being a rat, and I know he's a rat because he blocked me for something I said, but I said it in private. I sent him a message. Because a man who knows a man who knows a man knows him in a club, let's just say. And it's a private message. I don't like doing private messages unless you're like my absolute enemy. And then he blocked me. So I knew probably I was right. So if I can get over that much of it, he's an Islamist, he's on to Kia. Is he going to just be the first Muslim prime minister and then bring all the other people in? These are the things that are going through my head. But if you can get away from that and he's telling the truth, then he is very, very fucking right-wing. He's probably more right-wing than a lot of the people, like hardcore. Like he would expect people to take out all the illegal Bengalis, all the illegal Pakistanis, all the illegal... He would be in front doing it himself. But I just don't trust him. Monty, how you doing? I hope you're well. £5 million, says Nigel Farage, under investigation or will be suspended. By then, election, Nigel out, reform will then be finished. Again, this is a £5 million donation to a private person. I don't care, to be honest. I know Nigel Farage takes money left, right, and centre, right? He loves money, right? That's him. I don't care who's got £5 million off of the crypto king. I'm just watching the policies. Oh, you got 5 million, and now they've got the crypto package. You put them together, and you say that's not right. Is that a bung, or is it not? I don't know. But the 5 million itself, I don't care about. Same as Rupert. Rupert's got all of these globalist investment companies. He's got all of these globalist companies that he's bringing in loads of immigrants onto his businesses. He's doing, the net zero and all of that stuff. He supports it. He makes money out of it. He's doing X, Y, and Z. He's not a real farmer. That's that. That's the issues of the person. Let's talk about the party. So if Nigel Farage goes, Clacton, I know the people in it well. They won't vote again. They won't vote for reform. So Restore, it's an easy win for Restore. Easy win for Restore. It's not even worth me going out there, and they'll make a big song and dance out of it, and they'll be like blah blah blah. But you look at the boys in Clacton, they're going to vote Restore, right? But then you look at Clacton itself, and you think, could reform get the people of Jaywick out? Could reform get the rich people who live in the villages and the outskirts? You'd say, yeah, probably they can if they've got the right candidate. If they've got the right candidate, like just say Middleton, right? The right candidate, they could win. They could win again. So let him go. Let it happen. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I don't think they'll suspend him for more than 10 days. That's a harsh suspension if you look at the other ones who've got away with a lot of shit. So I don't think he will. But if he does, then that's down to him. But I don't think reform is finished. I think Zia Yusuf will just come in and he will assume the position. That's when we start thinking, okay, maybe we can't do that, because do we really want the first Muslim Prime Minister? I don't think so, because I know where it leads. Would it lead that way with him? Probably yes, because they're all in it together. It's the same. It's the same as if Kemi Badnoch wasn't in the Conservatives and she went over and she was elected as the leader of reform. I won't trust her. Same thing. Africans, same things. Because of what's happened, what's gone on over the elections. She says she was born in Africa. Oh, here we go. Africa to a Muslim family. Who? Oh, there we go. Look, there we go. Although I don't trust Kemi. I didn't even see that. Liberalism is left wing. Oh, have we done that? I don't know if we can count Rupert. If we can discount Rupert because he's got a Muslim daughter-in-law. Oh, I'm gonna listen. Be true to your things, right? Be true to your things. Do not change it around in a way. I'll show you this. Let me show you this. We've gone so far away from this report. I think maybe the best thing I can do on the report, because I talk on, but we'll carry on in it 1 second. The best thing I can do is going to be just do a part 2. I will just do a part 2 and maybe a part 3. We don't have to do it in one night anyway. We're here talking, chewing the fat. And I want to show you this though. This is indoctrination. And this is for all the people who are indoctrinated with Restore Britain. Where can I find it? I can find it in my YouTube studio. And I am going to go to... Is it Dino Baines video? I don't know. We're going to go and click it anyway. I want the... It's going to talk to me.
Just...
I want to go to here. No, it wasn't. Was it? What was it on? What was it on? It might have been this one. Let's have a look. Oh, here. Here. For uni soldier. No. Restore Britain, right? So that's all you need. That's all you need to know. I don't want to renew that. Thank you very much.
No, you're projecting something onto me.
No, I don't want to hear it. I just want that video. I just want that. Uni soldier. I don't pin it, remove it. Can you see that? Do we have to come in? Yeah, we can see that now. We can see that. So on this video, it says you're just full of projection and hypocrisy, Danny. You're the one who's coping while accusing others of coping, right? I don't know why people think I'm so invested into these people because I don't really care on either of them. I was invested in UKIP, and if UKIP turn around and become 100% political, I'd go straight back to them. 100%. That's where my heart is with UKIP. Not everyone else, I'm not even that bothered, to be fair. I just do what I'm doing to try and, help us be going in the right direction. There's not a shred of evidence Lowe is working for the Tories when I'm talking about the committee, the Public Accounts Committee. That's just Reform Smear job, and you're regurgitating it. And you wonder why people believe that you're a Reform shill. It's not... this is the cope, right? So it's not a Reform smear, it's actually the truth. It was handed down. John Fortune, he stepped down. The Tories said to him, you can do it. And then it says, perhaps don't sound like a conformtard if you don't want to be taken for one. He was given a seat. Oh, hang on a minute. I thought you said it's a smear job. He was given a seat on the Public Account Committee by the Tories because he played them. They wanted to butter him up, trying to recruit him to join, which they never did. There is evidence for, which he hasn't provided. The Tories have come out and admitted this. I've not heard that, saying that they regret doing it because it's enabled him to raise his and Restore's profile, e.g. in their competition. The Tories have got nothing out of it. I highly doubt that he would have strongly criticised the Tories to Rees-Mogg and others if he's working for them, trying to funnel people back to them. That's just lazy, low IQ slop, in my opinion. This is the ultimate cope. This is when I've got a video. If they tell you who it is, believe them. Don't cope for them like this, right? Because he's just tangled himself up into all sorts of places. The guy stepped down. The Tories give it to him. There was no buttering up. There was no confusion or anything like that. He's worked with the Tories for a very, very long time. He's worked with Rishi. He's worked with he's had business dealings with his wife. He's worked all the way back to the Maastricht Treaty, right? 1993 or whenever it was. He was involved with the Tories. So none of this business that, oh yeah, he's Tory through and through. If you cut him, he's going to be blue, right? So don't get them to cope like that. It's absolute crazy. I can't believe how popular Reform are. I can't get over how popular Reform are. People are desperate for something different, but they're still watching too much TV. This is hope, isn't it? Hope's good and bad. Hope will make you do crazy things like say that he was given a seat on the Public Accounts Committee, but it's still a Reform slur. That he wasn't working, that he did this with the Tories, but he's been working with the Tories for a long, long time. Anyway, people want hope and they just want to grab at something. And when you try and tell them that maybe not the right thing, that's maybe not the right direction, they're just going to go 100 miles per hour to try and get you to shut the fuck up so they don't have to hear you. So you're right with that. They watch too much TV. If we was all, honestly, the moment this country is finally awoken is when there is 650 independent MPs that people are talking about. Because people are just talking about their area, what's good for their area. Is there any alliances they can make? And this is what I said to both UKIP and to Advance UK. I've got a whole thing I sent to Advance UK, a whole document about a federation of people, basically what's trying to be happening now. And that's what they need to do. You need to get your federations together. You run with UKIP, you run with Advance UK, you run with Reform, right? You keep your own personal brandings, you keep your own personal message, you divvy up the areas and whatever, and then when you get into Parliament, you come together as a block. That's powerful. That's when we're finally awoken. When there's independents that are mixing with normal people, and you're just voting for the best person in your area. You don't care about party politics. You don't care about what anything else is. You're saying, can this person get together in a federation to have a block vote, and will he vote for our interests first? That's when the world's finally woken up. Julie Slater called Nigel to ask, are you packing it up? He told her, no, it's bollocks. Mainstream media trying to undermine reform voters. I think this is the problem as well. They're all old people, man. The boomers, Nigel, June Slater, Rupert Lowe, Ben Habib. Who else? They're all old people. We need people with 45-year-olds. You need me, my age group, Generation X, to be there. Not me like that. You need me. I didn't mean that. But you need people like me who are full of energy, who have lived through a whole lot of madness, can see both sides of the pond. Yes, we knew what it was pre-1995, and now we know what it's like now. So we can live. It's not too far away like 1970s. 1970s was so good because there was not that many cars on the street. The Ford Cortina was the best made car. All that type of stuff, right? It's too far away for people to kind of understand. But yeah, they're just too old anyway. That's it. So you should step down. Sadly, I've got to get to work, brother. Brother, thank you for watching. Thank you for spending some time with us, and watch the catch up. Craig, Iceland is okay. It's very white all year round. I'm not bothered about it being all white. I just want common sense people around who believe in it. But you don't want it 75% white, right? Again, not an attack, not anything else, but if that's what you want, own it. Do it. It's not a wrong ideology. No one's going to say, oh, you lot are Nazis. There will be some people, granted, but not people that you should care about. But that's what your opinion, and that's what you can be. That's what you need to do, because you're being honest to yourself. You're being honest to what it is. And if you don't care about it being a thing, you just want all the illegals out and you want all this out, then just say that. But there's a lot of people, again, a lot of them are in Restore who have very, very different ideologies to Restore. And they're very loud about it, and nobody's doing anything with it. We've all got to be, let's all be honest. But Steve Law's not with the White Vanguard. But why wouldn't he be? It seems like it's a good connection, no? Don't know. Rupert is really a Tory. He is. Right. We've gone off too far now. I want to do one more bit of this thing anyway. I want to make sure this is working. So let's get back to the policies. Let's do one more of the policies. What have we got this one? So this one is the Restoration Act, the Police Restoration Act. So it's number 4. Number four, which is the Police Restoration Act here. Right, so this is their key policy. They're going to make a Restoration Act. And this is important. We've seen what it was at the past. We've seen where maybe we could have prevented it, not by putting that act in place that Tony Blair would have done. Maybe it was Gordon Brown, 2002. He was there till 2005, wasn't he? Was he there till 2005? Was he a 3-termer or a 2-termer? Oh, I can't even remember now. So the Police Restoration Act, can we see that? Do you know what I didn't do? And I really apologise, people. I really apologise on that one, but we can go up while we go up. Right. So the administrative guidance can remove some burdens. Training reform can rebuild some culture. Inspection reform can change some incentives. Command direction can restore some confidence. However, the deeper restoration of policing requires a Police Restoration Act. So this is, again, this is the bridge, let's just say, into the legislation of the policing, of doing what they want to do with the police force. A restored Britain government will restore policing with such an act. The police... Yeah. The Police Restoration Act will repeal and replace relevant provisions of the Crime and Disorder Act of 1998, the Police Reform Act of 2002, and the Police and Justice Act of 2006, the Anti-Social Behaviour, the Crime and Policing Act of 2014, and any other acts necessary. It will re-establish itself as a legal foundations of independent, impartial British policing centred around the independent powers invested in the holders of office of constable, the operational policing independence, equality before law, police-owned capabilities, local accountability, national coordination for serious threats, and the preservation of life, property, and public peace and public order. It will assert... So it's back there. It will assert the principle that only British citizens holding the office of constable can legitimately police British citizens in the United Kingdom. And I think it's important. I do. I think it's a bit of a joke if you get people who are non-British who are coming into being the police. And it could be anyone who's non-British. It could be a Polish person. It could be, an Italian person. I think we need to, again, going back to Sir Robert Peel, we need to, the power, the police of the people, people are police. We need to police ourselves, and we do it very, very well because we understand ourselves. Other cultures don't understand the British mentality, and that's where a lot of the stuff. So this is going down the route of saying, essentially, we're not happy with guidance. It won't happen. What we need to do is actually create another act to repeal and replace all of these ones. How easy is that going to be? Is it going to be strategic? Will people do it? I'm not too sure. 3, 2. What are we on 4? I've lost my place now. I've lost my place. We'll just skip forward to 36. Again, some of these things are not right because I didn't do them right. 4.3. Here we go. Because look, it starts at 36, but it's just the bill will. Why didn't you just one enter, and then it's on 37? It's very easy. It's very easy. The bill will recast the office of constable in statute as the foundation of policing. It will restore the constable's oath to common law, constabulary, and operational language, removing the framing of the police as human rights delivery function, whilst preserving the duty of all officers to act lawfully, proportionately, and impartially. Repeal or rewire provisions to end the enabling of a broad exercise of police powers by non-constables. Define core policing functions as police command functions: arrest, detention, custody command, public order command, criminal intelligence, investigation, evidence handling, forensics, neighbourhood policing, officer training, and officer tasking. Already from here, I'm out. I've zoned out because this is a nothing burger. This will never happen, and at the end of it, I'll tell you why it will never happen. But let's just go more because there's a lot. It will replace national target setting with national capability standards and operational outcomes by measures, place statutory duty on the Home Office, the police accountability boards, and national policing bodies to protect operational independence, limit central direction to national security, serious and organised crime, cross border thefts, failing force intervention, and national capability standards. Create a statutory duty for equality before the law and enforcement without fear or favour. Remove the statutory, contextual, environmental, and political conditions that undermine the integrity of Sir Robert Peel's policing principles, the independent powers and the discretion of constables, and impartial policing without fear, favour, prejudice, or animosity. You see how the same language goes on and on and on. And it's this is what I said before when it's using words to fill out the page essentially. Require police guidance, inspection, performance frameworks to demonstrate operational purpose and effect. Reform the complaints and conduct the framework so the misconduct accountability supports law and confidence, discipline, honesty, and operational courage. Provide the statutory basis for the new police reserve, replacing the present specials model with a disciplined reserve model. Provide a statutory basis for the NCIS. Restore police control training institutions and allow them to hold accreditations for professional qualifications. Place custody, resilience, and forensic capability within a statutory policing, and establish police accountability boards. Now, what did that mean, people? What did any of that mean? Did anyone understand? Can anyone tell me what the Restoration Act is going to do? The police, I'll tell you what the official name is. We'll go to it. No, I won't. The Police Restoration Act. What's he going to do? Who's he going to serve? What's the bits in it? Because to me, it was just words. And even though this is the flagship proposal, and this is where the document stops becoming rhetoric and starts becoming legislation, I don't think it's correct. I don't think it's thought out. It's a lot of words and it doesn't really mean a lot of stuff. You could probably halve that and it will come out with the same thing. I understand about the Office of Constabulary. I understand that the oaths are changed, and I understand that they don't act for the people now. It's too government managerial and not a traditional police officer. So just roll it back. That's what he's going to do. It's also attacking a lot of other acts. So I don't think they'll be able to get that through, to be honest. The report says that guidance isn't enough. It wants the Police Restoration Act to restore the Office of Constable, which is good, the oath, which is good, operational independence, core police functions, equality before the law, police controlled training and academies and all that type of stuff. So that's good, no? But I don't know. It's huge. It's a huge legislative lift. It's huge, absolutely huge. And I don't think it will be able to be done in one time. There'll be so many people taking them to court because they can't do this. Then it will go to the House of Lords, and the House of Lords will say, oh, no, we can't do that. It will come back to the House of Commons, and you're going to spend 2 or 3 years just pushing it backwards and forwards. And the House of Lords will be running down the clock. So a new government will come into place, and it will frustrate a Restore Britain Parliament. So it needs to be scaled back, I think. You need to put the seeds in first. It could disrupt the forces as well, because there could be a whole lot of people that will just disappear. Then you've got to try and get people in very, very quickly. Then you're not going to train them properly. Then you're going to get all the extra complaints. Then the HR situations will come out. They will start saying, well, actually, this policy hasn't been done properly, or that hasn't been done, and you're just going to get loads of people in court, right? Not our courts, but into like the civil courts. And it also risks legal challenges around equality laws, human rights, and citizenship, which they're not going to allow you just to change. They're going to say no, even if it was you. There's always a backup. The House of Lords is a backup, and the Supreme Court is a backup. So the question really is that I'm asking: should that be done as it is, or yes, Ross, thank you for the kicks. Should that be done for as it is, or should they break it down and just do little pieces? I believe they're going to do little pieces. I think, right, would it actually fix the structural problems? I don't think it. Do you think, Chad? Do you think it would? It would. The Lords can't block manifestos promises. We'll get to that in a second. We'll get in fact, we'll do this now. So, Band Again said the Lords can't block manifestos promises. They can try to block other stuff, and the government wants that's not in their manifestos. Now, this has been going on a lot. And it's something that I looked into. And maybe I've looked into it wrong, but under my assumption, this is something that dates back to 1641 or something like that. And it's a gentleman's agreement. It's at a time when not everyone could vote. You had to be part, you had to do service or whatever it was to be able to vote. And normally it was people who weren't riffraffs or anything like that. So they had gentleman policies, and that was a gentleman's policy. But I don't believe that it is in law. So they can go on a manifesto, and they could be the only party on a manifesto that has all of these things, because it would then become an executive order, right? If think about it, it would become an executive order if you get voted in under a manifesto, and that couldn't be challenged, that couldn't be stopped. It's very easy. It's easy. You'd come in, you say all of this, they'd wote for you. The House of Lords would have to put it through. I don't think they've stopped it so far, but I believe it's quite woke in the House of Lords. So I do believe that they can go against the gentleman's agreement, and I believe it is a gentleman's agreement. But I'd be happy to be proven wrong on that. But that's the information that I got when I was looking at this, because I was like, why couldn't people just do that then? Why are we not just doing executive orders? You come in a manifesto, we're gonna deport everyone. Everyone's deported, right? Simple. It doesn't work. And if we did, imagine if the Greens come in. Sometimes you've got to be thankful for these little bits of quirks and things that might not work, could be good for us, but then you think if it works for us and the mad people come in, it'll be a different story. Right, so this one. Does it solve the problem? If it could be done, it would. It's not achievable legally, I don't think. I don't think it's going to be achievable financially. I think it will cost a hell of a lot of money to employ a lot of people, just like the Chris Kabar thing. Rightly so, the police said, well, if we're going to be facing murder charges, we're not going to walk around with a gun. We're not going to be the armed police. You can give that to someone else. It's not for me. So I think if they come in, the woke people, they'll just walk out in a day. Politically, you could probably try and get around it. It's very, very high risk. I don't think that's what that means. Overall effectiveness, I'm going to put it as a 7. So we've dropped it down a bit, the score. What would I do? What would you do, chat? Would we keep it as it is, or would we amend it? I'm going for it. We amend it. But still, we're still on keeping the whole lot. But I think I really would amend it into several smaller pieces. Did you hear that? I don't know what that was. Let me have a look at the. Oh, it's gone. Where's it gone, brother? Where's it gone? Let me see my alerts. No. I don't know if whatever happened there. I apologize. If someone's put a super in or something like that, I haven't got it. So, yeah. Cole Benjamin's going to freak out when you mention about the Disraeli conference. He's changed a little bit, hasn't he? Bound again, many nationalists are race purists, but not all. Woke and Boogie, restore is finished. Why is that, Woke and Boogie? What's the opinion? I can't go back up too far for some reason tonight. Look at this. Amen. I honestly think Jesus will be back before all this comes about, not restore or reform. Roy has lots of energy and puts himself about everywhere. I don't think that. I think there's going to be another turn in it. I don't think that the people we're talking about now is the people that we are talking about. Hell yeah! Thank you for the kick. Should we vote for? We should vote for our local sheriff. That would be a good way of doing it. After shit, we would vote for our own local deputies. We've got to start bringing everything back locally. Reform warned the Lords that they would go to war against the Lords if they try any such sit-ups. They will flood the Lords with hundreds of Reform Lords. Well, I don't think they can do that now because it is not, or is it because they've changed it? It's possible. It never used to be possible just to be able to easily flood it because people were there for too long. So I think now they changed it. So yeah, maybe it would do. And they would have to do that. I think that the House of Lords is not feasible in this day and age. I think it's good for historical references or whatever. But if we're going to change the system, like the police reform acts, they want to take away everything that the police have done and restart it. Yes, it needs to be done. But we also need to understand, should we then go to public, what is it called, PR, public representation or whatever, and should we get rid of the House of Lords and make it into like a second chamber, but make it an electable second chamber? So when you come under the general election, maybe that's when you do it. Maybe you just give them a fixed term of 2 general elections. So that's 4 years, 8 years and a half, 10 years. That's your maximum term, is 10 years in there. So every 10 years, the whole of the second chamber will be gutted and new people will come in. We have to look about the civil service. There's so many things that we've got to do to win. It's not just as easy as changing the laws. It's not just as easy as having a manifesto to say blah, 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 blah. It's the people who are behind it. And that's why the globalists have done so well, because they've put their people into all sorts of positions where even if we do win on certain things, if we win on the manifestos, right? So the manifesto comes through, the House of Lords says, yeah, okay, let's mass deport everyone. This is the law. The new acts and statutes are in place. We'll go to the king. He gives royal assent, right? So it's all good to go. Now it's down to the civil service to draw everything up and to then present it into the parliament, let's just say. They've done it so many times, frustrated it over Brexit. Not done the right thing, done it slowly, blah, blah, blah. So they could frustrate it again. And that's where the system falls, because we don't have all these fail break systems. They do. And that's why I think we need proportionate representation. That's why we need proportionate representation. Here, Sophia, how you doing? I hope you're well. Sophia says, direct representation. Yeah, agreed. So if we're going to do these big shape ups, I think that we need to have this type of representation. So this one, I need more evidence because there is zero evidence. And yeah, let's just do it. Let's just start small. Why is everyone doing all these massive? Let's go and do these huge things again. Let's just start it small. What would benefit the people the most? Would it be proportional representation or direct representation? Would it be putting in a second chamber potentially, or would it be getting 2 or 3 major changes in our statute books, in our history books, like to mass deport everyone? Would that be, yeah, that would be enough, wouldn't it? But I think if we had proportionate representation, that would then solve the politics. Because if you think about it, this is what Andy Burnham's doing. Number 10 North. We're going to take everything back up north. We're going to take the power. He hates fucking London. He hates Southerners. He's a typical Northerner, right? Thinks we've got it all. We've got all the money. I'm going to take the power back up, which needs to be distributed well. But again, that's why proportionate representation, I think, will work better, because what works for me down in Kent, it's not going to work for people in Doncaster. It's not going to work for people in Manchester. So you just tailor it slowly, slightly. Different parties for different people. And that's what, Burnham's doing. He's basically saying, listen, we can take power and bring it back up north, because obviously it's been neglected, and it has been neglected. But he's going to hope that that's going to give the votes to the people up in the Red Walls and all that who went to Conservative or who went to Reform. Yeah, there was a point to that, but again, I've forgotten. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock it on the head today. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to carry this on because we're only, look. Oh, you can't see it. So when I did this, it's a good thing, but it's probably for the daytime, so we can do a good few hours on it. And I thought this would break it down, and the unfiltered studio operating system would let me focus. But when I've got the comments, and when the comments are going, you're part of this as well. It's not just me saying blah, 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 blah. So when we have the conversations and we go on all sorts of tangents and we all do, yeah, that can't be stopped, I feel now. So we're only on number 4, and I've got 16 chapters. 16, 18. Oh no, they're new set. I didn't do them ones. So it's 16 chapters on the important bits that I thought were important to judge the whole act on. So I'll probably do that tomorrow daytime. I'm not working till later. If it's in the manifesto, it's possible to change the laws. It should be, and we should have executive orders. I know we've got our own special version of it that nobody ever uses. Calm down, don't like him, middle class. Who? Oh, I think you're on about Connor, middle class prat. Shit's the fans. Morning, Lodge. Oh, where's Lodge? How you doing, Lodge? I hope you're well. Reform have had a committee that's looked at all the areas where sabotage is expected to come from and countermeasures to overcome the blob. Hopefully, I haven't spent a lot of time looking at reform, even though, reform. Even though people say that I'm a stooge, I get paid from it and all that. And you know what? If Nigel, now he's got £5 million, right? If he wants to give, I don't know, 50 grand. If he wanted to give 50 grand, I will dedicate 1 year to the cause. Who wouldn't? That would literally allow activism for 4 years. Could do anything. We could go anywhere. We could see anything. We could expose everything. And all I've got to do is say, oh, reform's, reform's decent, reform's this, reform's that. All right, let's do it. If I don't do it, everyone else is going to do it. And you know everyone else is doing it. But no, I am joking to some degree. But if if people want to call me the reform shield that gets paid for it, then crack on to it. Just crack on. It's not really mattering. But I do need to look into them, because I've just said, fuck them. I don't care about them. But now it's important to do all sides of the story. Also, the Conservatives will go through as well. And these things are here. I don't know if I said it before. I'm going to finish it off with this, because this is important. Because what's eventually at the end of it, right? We'll have a lot of these policies, and maybe I'll just do it on my own, and I'll just do a very, very brief 20-minute video in relation to it. But I think this will be good going around to the election times, when we can have on the right, especially with the right-wing parties, we can say, right, over the whole of the last 2 years, the things that we've spoken about and the things and the policies that they've given to the people, that's what we have to base our vote on, really. Because there's no good telling me on a 6-week election cycle what you're going to be doing when you didn't do it when you had the opportunity for 2 years. I expect reform. Actually, I did see a reform person a few weeks back. But I expect reform, Labour, all these people to be knocking on the doors, to be just saying, this is our policies all year round. But you only see them in election cycles. So we can only judge what we've seen outside of an election cycle. And when we have all of these things all together, we can say, right, overall, Restore Britain. Overall, Restore Britain have had the highest amounts of policies that have been good, right? They're not been perfect. Then I can just grab all of them and I can say, right, this is the things. These are the bits that are not perfect. Let's try and pressure them to make them better. Or these are the things that are not perfect, but this is reforms and it's worse, and this is Conservatives and it doesn't go far enough, and this is someone else's and it's a pile of shit. It's good to collect them all in the same areas, instead of what a lot of people do in the election cycle is they focus on what they're being given at that point in time. And I don't believe that. I think if you want to get my vote, you get it now. You don't get it in the cycle. The Lord smells pissy and shit. It's too many old people in there. That's why. That is why. Right, people, folks, ladies, gentlemen. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed going through this slightly. I know we only got through to 4. 2 hours and 15 minutes. We've got no drop frames though, which is, you might be glad to hear. But so 2 hours and 15 minutes to get through 4 bits. Maybe we need to do maybe we need to do a little bit better of actually doing what we spoke about, what I said about. But the next ones is great. So if you can join me in the daytime tomorrow, I might do it in the nighttime. I'll definitely do some type of stream in the daytime or some in the night. But we've got police accountability, what they're saying about that, equality before the law, removing the political policing, the national policing architecture, blah, 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 blah. So that last one was weak. It didn't do enough. And UTK is moving to North Korea. Shall I tell you something about North Korea? Let me show you something before I go that I've been working on. If I can find it. Where is it? Where is it? So you can go down there. Danny Unfiltered, freedom of information's no. Is it content machine? Oh no, it's social media. No, it's co-worker. It's there, and it is Legal. Sorry, people. This is like one of the worst bits. I think it's this one. I think it's this one. It's not this one. But it's not that one, but it is that one, if you know what I mean. Oh, no, it's not been done, has it? All right, this is the first bit. It's not finished because I'm. Oh, where's it gone? Oh, it's there. Right. Right, bless, love, chat, everyone. Right, who gets the vote? It's a bit. I'll move across a little bit. So what I've done on this one, but I've done a better one, or I'm in the middle of doing a better one, and it's got better comparisons and all sorts of stuff. But here it gets who gets the vote, because a lot of people recently have been talking about the actual voting rights, and it's quite interesting once you go into it. I thought it was a bit boring, and this is where people say that, Dan, you are a political investigator, because who else does this? Band again, night. I'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you soon. I investigate this kind of mad shit, right? So this is the Global Migrant Electoral Rights Database. It's of 165 countries. It's over 60 years, and it's stuff they don't really want you to find out about, right? And North Korea is important because it's not actually important, North Korea, but North Korea. I'm trying to get data for. I'm trying to get some type of voting data for, because there is a style. I know it's just the he's a dictator and he's doing that, but there are different varieties, I believe, and they're essentially a vote. Let's just say. But look here, right? The 5 biggest global trends. 75% of countries now give non-citizens some form of national level electoral rights. And that is up from 21% in 1960s. 1960s. It's gone up. Since the 1960s, the UK hasn't changed what we do. The biggest people who allow people to non-migrants, non-nationals to vote is Ireland, New Zealand, and Malawi. They allow you to vote nationally, vote locally, vote nationally. They allow a non-citizen to be a candidate, and you can vote from overseas. We in the United Kingdom, we're quite far down. That's the level. We're top of the middle bits where we can do some of it. But it's absolutely crazy when I went through this. Here's another one. Who can vote as non-citizens? Commonwealth citizens. And this is where you rig it, right? This is where you absolutely rig it. Any national of a Commonwealth country who is resident in the UK can vote in all elections, local, devolved, and general elections. So I would be saying this. If somebody wants to rig the vote, they could bring in for 1 month all of these people who are from the Commonwealth countries. Now imagine all these illegals that are coming in. Imagine if they suddenly give them a Commonwealth passport, or they give them the rights of a Commonwealth. So you don't have to live here. You just need to be part of the Commonwealth. You can come in here, stay here, and get a card, get your voting card. Obviously, you register, so that will take. So you need to be here for, say, 2 months. Get yourself a card, get yourself an electoral roll, and then you can vote. 54 countries in the Commonwealth nations that have the potential to vote. That includes India, Nigeria, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Kenya, Ghana, Jamaica, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. And this goes back to the British subjects. This goes back to all the British subjects, where it was. But we can't vote in their countries, majority of them. The United Kingdom allows non-citizens from 54 Commonwealth countries to vote in its national parliament, Westminster. Crazy. Here's the change. I had a graph, and you could show it really bad. You could show it a lot. So in the 1960s, we already have non-citizen local voting. So it was 11% of the countries had this in some kind of thing. Then in 1979, Spain introduces it because of Franco, post-Franco. Then Nicaragua introduces it after the Cold War ends. Democratization starts beginning to happen. Then the Maastricht Treaty, what it means that all EU members must allow EU citizens to vote locally and in EU elections. Obviously, that opened it up massively even more. Then you got post-Soviet democratization, Latvia, Estonia, all these people. So then the data sets from then, from 1995 to 2005, it jumped from 39% to 54% of the world lets non-citizens vote in some elections. And mainly it's in the local elections, the local and the state and things like that, right? But I think they're the most important ones, I do personally. And here, by 220, 123 out of 164. It's crazy. Crazy, right? Anyway, that was it. I'm doing a whole video on that because I do think it's a big scam going on. I think it's a huge scam going on. Good night, band again. And yes, my chat has frozen. But anyway, people, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. Tell me what we can do better and how we can go on from here. But I think that is something we can do. As I said, I'm going to keep developing this, and I'm going to keep. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So, yeah, it's going to be good. I do feel. But, you know, it is what it is. If it works out, it works out. But you people, always, you are beautiful. And you've been here for 2.5 hours. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. And you know what? Thank you. Everyone who sent the kicks, the supers. I don't know why the supers didn't come through. I will sort that out. But anyway, Sophia, thank you for popping by. Thank you for staying. UTK Blue, always a pleasure. Band's gone. Who else has gone? Ross Rome's over on Kick. Hal, good night. See you later. Roy, God bless. Everyone else, I'll see you tomorrow.